Hi. Okay, this is going to be my next video, and I'll have to go back and do another B video, I think, but I'm going to do the C video. That's wrong for you. This is the way for you. C. C is for circle casting. So I wanted to talk a little bit about different ways that I have tried to cast a circle and some of my experiences with casting a circle. So when I started out, with Wicca. The first ritual that I ever did, I was very nervous, of course, and there's always sort of this feeling, especially the first few times you do it, a circle casting, is am I doing it right? Is it working? Right? And I kind of I sympathize with that feeling that a lot of beginners have with that because it took me a really long time to get comfortable with casting a circle and to know that I was doing it. Um, you just have to practice at it and you have to keep at it. And you have to try different ways, different techniques for doing it. Not everyone casts a circle the same way. Not everyone visualizes it the same way. Not everyone feels it the same way. And so um, I remember the first time that I cast my circle, I just felt really uncomfortable with it. I was in my apartment, in my bedroom by myself, with the lights out, with a couple of candles going, and I didn't have, I don't think I had my wand yet. And I just sort of cast a circle, and I just really was uncomfortable with it. I wasn't quite sure that I was doing it right. I couldn't feel the energy really. I didn't really feel anything that first time that I did it. And so I still tried to do it as, I started practicing, but it just got really ridiculous. I felt ridiculous walking around in circles in my room, right, by myself. And, I know I shouldn't feel ridiculous and, it's part of what I'm supposed to do and it's part of my practice, but when you're starting out, your first ritual is just so awkward anyway. Um, you feel like you're talking to yourself. If you're a solitary, you feel like you're talking to yourself and that somebody's going to walk in any minute and disturb you, and you're not sure if you're doing it right, and it's just really awkward. And so my first few circle castings, I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. And then I came upon, or I reread, I should say, in Scott Cunningham's book about the energy play, where he talks about creating a ball in your hands and and playing with that ball of energy. So I did some of that, and that kind of actually really helped um, with circle casting because you get a feel for energy and what it's doing. And so if you do those energy practices or any energy practices and visualization practices, those will really help you to get a handle on casting a circle if you're going to do it the traditional way and walk around the circle with either your finger or a wand or whatever your tool of choice is. Um, but it also got me thinking about that energy play exercise where you make the ball and you shoot it around and mold it and stuff. That exercise also got me thinking about different ways to cast a circle. So one of the first ones that I did that I actually got really comfortable with is to create a ball of energy in your center. And well, ground and center first, right? And then create a ball of energy in your core. And then take a breath in, focus on your breathing, and then every time you exhale, you expand the ball of energy a little bit more. And so eventually it comes to be a circle or a globe encompassing you. It's kind of like blowing up a balloon, right? But with energy. And so that is a method that I've used. I use that all the time. And it's really easy because you don't need any tools and you don't need a whole lot of space to do it, especially if I'm just doing a circle by myself, a solitary ritual. That works really well for me. I don't have to feel funny about actually getting up and walking around a circle and demarcating my space because the bubble does it for me, the energy bubble. So that's one way that I got really comfortable early on, is to use that energy play and create that bubble effect for myself. Um, it's kind of like a ball of light or energy that surrounds you. So you're actually sitting in the middle, like you would with any circle. Um, and then I've tried a couple of other ones. This is my book of shadows I'm looking through. I just have a section on circle casting techniques. And some things that I also tried early on were setting out a line to demarcate where the edge of the circle is. That's also very helpful if you're moving around in your circle, especially when you're calling quarters. So if you cast your circle before you call quarters, it's really helpful to set out that line of demarcation. And you can do that with almost anything. Um, I had a piece of yarn that I had braided, and I would use that to, to show where the edge of the circle was. You can also use seasonally appropriate things like corn, like I've used like the popcorn, like the unpopped popcorn, and use that to line your circle. Um, a piece of ribbon or stones. You'll often see people using stones or hear people using stones. You can use rice, seeds, candles, anything that you can think of to show you where that line is. Um, so you can use that to help you. And if you are actually going to cast with a wand or anything, that actually really helps you to visualize where that circle is going to be. Another way that I have tried before, but it hasn't really worked for me yet, but I'm going to keep practicing with it, is uh, like a lasso, like a circle, like a lasso, like a cowboy, and so you just like send the energy through your arm, and then you lasso. Start at the very top of the circle where the top of the dome would be, and you just sort of lasso around this way, and then when you get to your center, then you switch it. You take your arm from this position to this position, and you do it downwards so that it creates the bowl part of the bubble, right? So top down and then to the bottom. Um, so that's another way. I still need more practice with that one. I haven't gotten really adept at that one yet, and I haven't really felt too comfortable with it. Um, but another way that I found that I actually really like, and sometimes I use it on its own, and sometimes I use it along with the ball of light one that I talked about at the beginning, and it's to use song to cast my circle. And there's a couple of different songs that you can find that are circle casting songs. And the one that I use is from Lucidian, and I'm not quite sure what it's called. It might just be called the circle casting song. I'm not sure what it's called. Um, but they use particular deity names, but I just replace those names with the Lady and the Lord, and it seems to work just fine. They have one portion is to open or to cast the circle, um, and it sort of sets up that circle, and then there's another one to close the circle or to open it, depending on how you see a circle. I mean, I guess if you're at the end of your ceremony, you're going to open the circle, but I don't know. It's confusing. Um, so I use song, and I'm not a singer, and I don't have a good singing voice, I don't think. And but it's just me in my apartment by myself casting my circle for ritual, and so nobody else needs to know. And I really connect through using my voice now, which I think is so amazing because when I first started out, it was very difficult for me to use words to express what I wanted to say in ritual because I was sitting there by myself, and I felt like I was talking to myself, and I felt crazy and stupid and awkward. And so using song is a way to express those words and still get your point across, still say the things you need to say in order to perform the ritual, but you can feel a little bit better about it because it's a song. So you're just like singing out loud, like you're singing with the radio or something. So, yeah. So I really like that method of casting, and I think it works really well. But I sing all the time, even though I don't have a great singing voice. I sing in the shower and around my apartment all the time, so I love that. Um, Okay, so those are some different techniques that I've used in the past and some different things that have worked for me and some things that I still need to work on. Um, but I encourage you to switch up your circle casting sometimes. Don't always do it the same way, right? Um, just think about what you need to accomplish with your circle casting and then use a method that's appropriate for that. Um, and obviously, if you're uncomfortable doing something, maybe you just need more practice at it, or maybe it's not in alignment with your belief system, and that's okay. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying, try different things and don't get stuck in doing one way just because that's the only way that you ever learned. Try out some different things and you might find something that works for you even better than what you do now, right? So that's my bit on circle casting. Um, I'm going to try and come up with another video for a C word. Okay, so see you there.